Speaking of Borussia Dortmund, let's talk a little bit about Gio Reyna, right? He got in at the end of Dortmund's 1-1 draw against PSG on Wednesday. It's a result that helped Dortmund qualify, actually first place out of the very difficult Group F. Reyna played the last 9 minutes, and Herc, everybody's very excited about kind of one key pass that he made, right?
Well, yeah, it's not just one key pass. Marco Reus has a better touch. That's a goal. Dortmund wins, Milan wins, and you got both Americans going on. It's a short cameo, and all it was like 15 minutes. It was 9 minutes regulation time and then stoppage time. It was a positive outing by Gio, but people are excited because of what they see from Gio when he does play.
Yeah, and I think more notably perhaps than the 9 minutes and the one key pass is what we saw after the game, Shaka, which was a confrontation, or as like we like to say on this show, a kerfuffle between Gio Reyna and the veteran defender in Mats Hummels. You could also see maybe an exchange of words between Reyna and the manager, Edin Terzic. Shaka, what do you make of this? You've been around dressing rooms. You've been in the heat of the moment after the game. What did you see in that confrontation between Reyna and his teammate and his manager?
Two players exchanging words as they do in an emotional moment after a performance. While the result is exactly what Dortmund needed, given that they topped the group, I think Borussia Dortmund could count themselves lucky not to have gone 4-5 down and lost this game quite convincingly. Gio Reyna comes in just to kind of seal things up. And while we can only speculate as to what the exchange was about, when you have the kind of pace that PSG have and the lack of pace that Dortmund have, certainly defensively, you expect a lot of cover from your midfielders, especially that late in the game. Gio Reyna coming on with, 9-10 minutes to go. His primary responsibility is as defensive cover. And listen, I know where his assets are and probably best deployed, but still, he's got to play both sides of the ball. And I suspect that's what that exchange was about. Nothing more than a teaching moment, if you can put it down to that, between a senior player and a young talent that I feel Gio Reyna is a very bright talent, and the manager kind of gets involved. It happens all the time. It normally happens in the dressing room more times than out on the pitch, but given the circumstance, and Germany, they like to stay out and clap the fans after games, and they've topped the group after all. I totally understand and think nothing, erroneous about it.
No, there's nothing crazy about this, Seb. And Shaq, listen, I've been in this very exact position before where you come into a game where you just want the result. A 1-1 tie actually does very well for both, for Borussia Dortmund and PSG. And you're coming on as a young player and you're like, I kind of want to make a name for myself here. This is the Champions League. This is what I want to do. So you keep going forward. So that talk right there with Hummels, a defensive player, is you don't need to go forward. We need to keep the ball. We don't need to play transition. We need to see the results out. We're already first place. That's the same thing with the coach. But Gio Reyna, as a young player in the Champions League who sees open space, what do you want to do? You're an attacking player. You want to take the open space. That's what he wants to do. This right there, it's something that happens 1,000 times in training rooms, 1,000 times in dressing rooms and training sessions, where it's just, hey, the important thing here was the result. Nothing else.
What's interesting is it's happened between these two. 3 years ago this week, Mats Hummels criticized Reyna publicly for, quote, not staying with his man, and said he's got to prove he wants to win above all. So certainly not the first time between those two, maybe not the last. Hey, Shaka, real quick, you think Gio Reyna should stay at Borussia Dortmund, or you think it's time for him to move on? Herc has made it very clear he thinks Gio Reyna's future is best elsewhere.
I'm with Herc. I don't think Gio Reyna is getting the kind of minutes that he needs to play and growing in this game. Listen, Dortmund are one of the bigger clubs in German football, if not European football, and I'm sure there's an attraction to staying involved with an outfit such as that. But if you're not playing, if you're coming on for the last 10 minutes and you're as talented a player as Gio Reyna is, I don't see the point in it.
Listen, for a second, can we acknowledge how little he's played? It seems like he played more when he was 16 years old and debuting for Dortmund than he does today. All year, he's played 268 minutes. A talented player like Gio Reyna, he's got to get out.
Yeah. I asked because there was an article in The Athletic. Apparently, there's interest from teams in Germany, Spain, Italy. We've seen links to teams in the Eredivisie as well. So potentially lots of suitors for Gio Reyna. He's just 21 years old, contract running with Dortmund through 2025.